People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Podcasting from somewhere in Central Florida.
Where is the bloody rum?
I see you tried knifey spoony before.
Let's drink some rum.
Rum is the power, rum is the key, rum is the thing that will set us free. Rum, rum, rum,
And nerdy.
rum, rum, ahoy! Rum, rum, rum,
And nerdy.
Sit back, relax. Remember to turn off your cell phones. For the next hour, let me be your Candy Crush.
Hey everybody, welcome to Rum and Nerdy. I'm Greg.
And I'm Garrett.
And today we've got episode 4.04, the Continental Breakfast. Yeah, there you go. We're going to be talking about John Wick today, and we're going to be doing it with our buddy Trevor. Hey, Trevor.
Hey guys, how's it going on?
It's good. It's good. Welcome to the show. We've talked to you about it. It's kind of funny. So we were at a TEA mixer tonight, right?
Yeah, literally like an hour ago.
Like an hour ago.
Yeah.
And Trevor says to me, "It's like we've talked about it, but when are we actually going to do the podcast?" I'm like, "Right now, just
right now. Just show up.
Just go.
Here's
we're going
my
right
address.
now.
We're doing it.
No, it didn't have to be tonight." He says, "No, this is the best time.
This is it.
We don't plan
It's
that far ahead."
It's now or never.
Yeah. So welcome. As we said before, being on the show is exactly like hanging out with us. Only we probably will talk over you just like in real life.
Probably.
This is a good example of what we would do.
Yeah,
when you.
this is exactly what we do.
Yeah.
And much like hanging out at a TEA event, there is proper microphone etiquette.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we went over all that stuff. Anyway, welcome.
There's also booze.
There's booze. Speaking of,
What are we drinking today, Greg?
Plantation XO. This was.
Scott? Did Scott bring this?
I think that was a Scott president.
Ooh,
Foley.
Not too shabby.
that sounded pretty good.
And speaking of Scott, Trevor is going to get the ETC glass.
There you go.
Ooh.
Do you know what ETC is? You know Scott, right?
Oh yeah. I actually,
he had a tab going tonight.
I unfortunately, needed to reschedule on a lunch with him this week because I got slammed with a bunch of work. So I made it up to him, and I was like, "Listen, I'm gonna take you out to lunch."
These are good problems to have.
Yeah. And I get the
Understood.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to do the quick update. Garrick's season's over. He's like, "No, what are you talking about? Football's done."
Football is done. I don't know what you're talking about. Is that still going on?
Yeah. We got 2 more weekends, but not in a row.
Wait. Is this the Typhoon Tommy football update?
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Tommy hates us talking about football. He likes the podcast. He hates it when we talk. So we're going to ruin just.
So we're going to name we're going to name it after him. Now that's the
Yeah. So so first off, Green Bay, you guys made a run at it. I swear to God, the best way to describe it is nobody told you guys you weren't supposed to do that well.
in a rebuilding year. Yeah, made the playoffs, beat the first 7 seed team to ever win a game. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
So turned out great. Congratulations for your for all arguments a successful postseason.
Absolutely.
So congratulations on that. Chiefs triumphant over the Bills. We're now officially Josh Allen kryptonite.
Nice.
So that's fun. But it's going to be a rough game for me. And I've said this before, and I'll just throw this out there, and we'll wrap up the football stuff. As far as I'm concerned, the Chiefs have gone as far as I was hoping they would go. They made it to the 6th consecutive AFC Championship game,
and they struggled a little bit towards the end of the year. So.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's yeah.
But they are the last 2 weeks they're on freaking fire.
Well, you have to be in the postseason.
Yeah.
You're either on fire, or you're watching it on TV.
And this weekend they go to Baltimore. And Mahomes is now in he's played 5.5 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And last weekend was his first postseason game not at home.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
And this will be the 4th AFC. No, he's been in every AFC championship. Every year of his career, he has been in the AFC championship game.
Nice.
So it's pretty substantial.
But these things are all good.
And Trevor's just like,
Trevor's like,
Well,
I'm
as-
sure football.
As
Is
someone
that a sport?
who played 3 years of Pop Warner football and then 3 years of high school football, I still recognize the fact that you're saying sports ball. So
Yeah.
awesome.
What do you think of the rum?
I didn't try it. It's
Oh my
head-on. It's
God. Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
So, we're big fans of Plantation. It's one of our favorites. This particular one is as one of the best ones of Plantation.
Ooh. No, as soon as you said Plantation XO, I went, this is going to be good.
This is going to be a good rum.
yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
it's going to be good.
There's nothing in the Plantation lineup that's bad. It's all hey, do I drink it neat, or do I put ice in it, or do I mix it with something? But I mean, every single thing Plantation makes is delicious.
Yeah. And no exception. We really love this one. This is and this is a good sipper. You know, it doesn't need ice. It doesn't need Coke. Anything. It's fine the way it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Anyway, so welcome to the show. So as we kind of implied, we're going to be talking about John Wick. You've watched the movies?
I have watched all 4, yeah, and a couple of the episodes of Continental, the Peacock
Ooh,
offshoot series.
I haven't even started that yet.
Yeah.
It's a separate thing. Definitely a separate thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that takes place before John Wick, though, right?
Yeah, like 20. It's like Ian McShane's character, like 25 years or 30 years before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before
Interesting.
John Wick's ever involved.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then there's going to be a spin-off movie called Ballerina that's about what's her name from the fourth one.
Yep.
Yeah. That is it Japanese? She was Japanese, right? I think she's Japanese.
Yeah.
So the Japanese daughter of that the other assassin.
Which I think would be really good.
Yeah. Yeah, she was badass. Those fight scenes, I mean, all of them are so good. So I know you've looked up some stuff. I've looked up some stuff.
Yeah, we did some actual prep for our no prep pod.
Well,
podcast.
and we did promise the listeners we'd try a little harder now that we're 4 seasons in.
Yeah,
but
can't wing it anymore.
Can we
Do
not?
you want to go? Do you want to go through the movieweb.com top 12 list of John Wick John Wick fight scenes?
We can, but I also want to sprinkle in just weird things about.
Sure.
Like, so John Wick was the movie.
Yeah.
Was it was developed and directed by one of the stunt coordinators from the Matrix movies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that came from. And as you and I were discussing before Trevor got here, the character John Wick is named after
the writer's grandfather.
Yeah.
John Wick.
Oh, really?
Of the what was it? The John Wick Construction Company, Madison, Wisconsin,
something like that. Yeah.
That sounds very apropos. All right.
Yeah, it was real. Oh yeah, it was the Wick Building Systems in Madison, Wisconsin. Yeah, John Wick.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Wick Building Systems. That's kind of awesome.
And also, John Wick has a tattoo over his entire back. Do you know what it says?
Oh, geez. I feel like I should know this.
Yeah, you didn't expect to wander into John Wick trivia.
During this, it's trying to
Remember, phrase your answers in the form of a question.
That makes me think of that question episode we did where you did the, is it?
Oh, Kanye or Conway?
Did you listen to that one? It was song lyrics, and I had to decipher whether it was sung by Conway Twitty or
Kanye
West. And some of them are hard.
Some of them are really hard. He did not get 100% on it.
Yeah, they're like, yeah. One of them was just having your woman on your knee, and something. I'm like, oh, that's Kanye West. No, that was
Conway Twitty. His lyrics were a bit rapey.
Yeah.
Oh.
Some of them were just like, wait, that old white guy from This Is Country 1972.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, I digress. We do that sometimes here. Anyway, the tattoo.
If your dad had a haircut like Conway Twitty, you have siblings you've never met. John Wick.
Anyway, John Wick.
John Wick.
So John Wick's the tattoo says Fortis Fortuna Act
2 Brute. What?
Aduvat,
That was my second guess.
which translates to Fortune favors the bold, which is way cooler in Latin or whatever language that is. Because fortune favors the bold. It's like, I bought a lottery ticket. I'm going to get a tattoo, but it's going to say that in Latin. I don't know.
Did you know that John Wick's the studio never wanted John Wick's dog to die? It was in direct violation of Frank Kincaid's rule number 32: never kill a household pet.
Yeah. But then he wouldn't be back.
He wouldn't. No.
No.
When they showed the movie to test audiences, they're like, "Oh yeah, the dog has to die."
Yeah.
Like, there's no way we can justify any of this.
Yeah, that dog's name is
if,
Earl.
If the dog lives, so sorry, Frank.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get into the question. Like, you'd sent me a list.
I did send you a list.
Best fight scenes.
Yeah, and one of the things that is really, if in the event that you haven't seen the John Wick movies, one of the things that I found, because I just watched like all of them this past week.
Oh wow! Okay.
One of the things that I really enjoyed about it is the movies felt like video games.
Mm-hmm.
Like it felt like, you know, a Grand Theft Auto or a Call of Duty, something like that, where you sort of had these cutscenes and then you had these fight scene missions, and just the way the fight scenes were filmed and the way you would progress through the individual scenes, it felt like missions in a video game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It just had that look and feel, and it was pretty awesome. And some of these fight scenes that we're going to go through in this list, freaking awesome. Like I'll mention it and you'll instantly remember exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So like number 12 on the list, the New York Public Library from Chapter 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Where he ends
yeah.
up beating a guy to death with a library book.
Yeah. That punches him like the throat and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy he was fighting, that super tall dude, is an NBA player.
No.
He played for the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, he's a legit NBA player. And like, hey, we're going to have Keanu Reeves kill you in a library. That's cool, right?
Sure. I'm free.
I'm in.
That's
I have some free time, which is funny because I actually don't.
Okay. So that was number 12. Number 11, the original home invasion. Kind of that first fight scene into the whole film.
See, I wouldn't put that in the top 10 of the franchise. They just got better and more brutal.
I think I would agree. I would agree.
I mean, it's certainly important to the story arc.
It's important to the story arc, and I agree with you. And the other thing is visually interesting, because some of the scenes are just visually spectacular. And you look at it, I mean, even just from a cinematography standpoint, you're like, wow, I can't believe you can do all that with light and mirrors and still film an action sequence in that environment and have it not be completely unusable. Number 10, the club in Berlin from Chapter 4.
That one was cool.
Where there's like the waterfall. There was a bit with the waterfall.
Well, and then there was a whole catacomb thing underneath, sneaking in.
Yeah.
And like going in and hiding guns in certain spots so that they were there for the escape.
I don't think that wasn't the club bit. The club bit was where he went to kill. He needed to get the dude's tooth. So he was it was the
oh yeah. I'm thinking of when he was trying to get away after he went to
assassinate
the one, and then she cut her own wrists.
Yep.
In the bathtub. Yeah. So getting out of that.
Agreed. Number 9 is another one of those really visual, stunning ones. Was the reflection of the soul from Chapter 2. That's in that man with the golden gun, Hall of Mirrors.
Yeah.
Fucking place. Which again, very interesting and impressive that you can watch the whole thing and not see a camera.
Mm-hmm. So that's the one that like starts with guns and then breaks down, and eventually it's just like swords and knives. Right?
Ultimately, yeah.
He's fighting again. I think it's a Japanese guy.
Yeah.
The other assassin, which is really a cool scene too, because if you think about it, there's a lot of respect between them. You know, as far as their professionalism and what they've accomplished as murderers.
Well, the other thing that's interesting about the entire franchise is that John Wick is like the Harry Potter of assassins.
Yeah.
And the further you get into the franchise, the more people are like, oh, you're John Wick. Like, dude, man, like, you want to hang out sometime, or and it's like, no.
Yeah.
We're trying to kill each other. What the hell?
By the way, you can interject anytime.
Well, I was going to say the.
Anyway, what's the next?
I'm trying to think of what the character's name actually is, but the guy you're talking about, who, he ends up ultimately actually just like facing off with, was someone who he went on missions with. I feel like, or it's at least insinuated that they went on missions with.
Yeah, they had worked together.
Yeah.
Right. You're thinking Chapter 4, the blind guy. Kane?
No. Before that,
The assassin that was I think it was in 2 that he was.
Was it the place that had like all like the glass floors and staircase?
So the glass floor one, that guy had never met him before because he's the one where they went to the Continental and they had to stop fighting and they were waiting for the manager together and John Wick sat on the couch and then this guy sat on the couch right next to him in the middle and John got up and moved to the chair. They had never met. Because he's like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of your work, and I've been following you for years.
That was that 2?
That was the bald guy. I think he was in 3.
I thought the bald guy was the blind guy.
No, blind guy was not bald.
Oh,
the guy from Rogue One.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. He was in 4, and he had
fantastic.
He had,
like all told, I want to contextualize this with saying like all of John Wick films are westerns.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
they are 100% westerns.
So the other one, the bald guy, was Mark, and I never get his last name, DeCasos. And he's kind of the guy that looks like he could be like family with Bruce Lee.
Yeah, he's the one that we first meet him. He is a sushi chef, and he had like a pet cat, and he fed the cat some of the sushi, and he met with one of the representatives from the high table, and she was recruiting him, to kill John Wick, and when he was having that fanboy moment with John, and he said something, oh yeah, like you're a dog guy, right? He's like, yeah, I was always more of a cat guy. And like when we meet him, he had his pet cat on the counter, and anyway, I thought it was fun. It brought a level of levity to the entire.
But it was still like one of those things, right? That where it was like, hey, I've followed you. I really respect your work, but I'm still gonna kill you. But
yeah.
Number 8, Red Circle Club from Chapter 1. That's the one where he's going through the dance club.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the gunshots matched with the BPM of the DJ.
Absolutely, and that's the one where I think that's the one where he's chasing the dude in the towel, and the guy he's running through the club in a towel, and he's kind of chasing
sun guy. Yeah.
And then there's the freaking henchmen, the overhead billable henchmen are just coming. They're just coming.
Please see reference to. Was it last week or the week before?
It might have been last week. Yeah, but they just keep coming out of the woodwork, and you can see the guy that you're chasing. And I swear to God, there is a Grand Theft Auto or a Getaway. There's some video game where that's one of the missions. You're kind of chasing a guy in that situation, and if the henchmen bog you down, the dude gets away, and you kind of lose the mission. So. Again, that's one of those video game-esque scene moments where you're, pretty interesting. Number 7, which I thought had some other really great. It was great visually to watch from a camera perspective. Escaping Casablanca from Chapter 3.
Yeah.
With when he was teamed up with Halle Berry.
Oh,
and her dogs,
yeah.
And they were and after they assassinated the again, I think it's. I don't remember what his title was. One of the guys from the work for the table, kind of high up in the organization. But escaping into the desert.
Okay.
And that had the dogs. The dogs made it really interesting to watch them.
Yeah, because he was fighting his way out with Common, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, that was the one with Halle Berry, Sophia.
I thought Common was in that too.
He might have been in that movie, but he was not. No. He was in the club we meant, or the club when he assassinated.
That's right.
Because he was.
Don't they culminate that where like John Wick stabs him in the subway, and it's like if you pull it out, you're gonna bleed out.
Yeah.
So go to a hospital.
Yeah, he was the bodyguard of the person that he killed from the high table after a coronation in 2. Yeah.
In 4, yeah.
2.
2.
That's the one where the two of them kind of pass each other in the nightclub, and he looks over, he's like, John, it was a good night for you? I'm sorry, it was a good night. That's too bad. And then they just start shooting at each other in the middle of the thing. And you're like, number 6, the Continental Shootout from Chapter 3.
Oh, yeah, when they break the rules?
Yeah, when they break. Well, it was after they deconsecrated the hotel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just a shit show. Yeah.
The one thing that bothered me about that is they changed the lobby of the hotel for that fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's like because the Continental is a long, skinny building, and the lobby that you always see that where the check-in desk is and all that stuff, it's long and it's skinny. And then in that chapter 3, they're like, hey, we're gonna have a really big fight scene. We're gonna make the lobby fucking huge, so it'll be easier to watch. And it's like a completely different front door on the inside, and it's again. I'm a weirdo. I pay attention to shit. It was just like,
That's films. That's
You're just a movie person like us.
yeah. Okay. Number 5. This was a fun one. Carrefour from Chapter 4 around the Arc de Triomphe in Paris.
Yeah. So when I got to go there last year, it's like that's what I'm like. Oh my god, this was that scene where the thing. And the,
Really? Because I always default to, hey, look, kids, Big Ben Parliament. And
but this is Paris,
I know it's Paris, but whenever I see people driving around the Arc de Triomphe, that's just what I think in my mind. Because it's the world's largest, most go fuck yourself roundabout ever.
It's pretty fucking insane. And you're standing there, and it's like every fucking pedestrian's trying to get a picture, and there's no place to. There's no sidewalks. There's no place to stand. You're just like kind of taking up a lane of traffic with you and 10,000 of your friends trying to get a fucking photo.
It's like 10 lanes of cobblestone around a freaking stone arch. And I don't know.
Yeah.
sounds terrible. Why has nobody thought of a different way to go?
Because they're French and they're like, fuck it. Oh.
Yeah. Wheel and spoke urban layouts is garbage.
I was
Brilliant.
God, who was it?
It was like
early-
the urban planning team was French and hundreds of years old.
So
We are on break.
I was at the mixer earlier, and somebody comes up and was like, "Hey, hey, how's it going?" I go, "Fucking great." And the person that was there would go, "Oh, you're Scottish?" I'm like, "No, I'm from fucking Kansas." Oh, what's the accent for Kansas? This is the accent.
Yeah. I probably would have responded with NTM.
Yeah. Well, and then the whole thing was like, well, guess what my accent is? Guess where I'm from? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm something Latin origin. And I'm like, okay,
Oh no,
just
I would
say these words for me, and then I'll guess. And he goes, okay. And it says, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepared to die. And I'm like, Portugal. He goes, Ecuador.
See, you missed an opportunity to just completely baffle them with wrong answers. Say something. My name is Inigo Montoya. Oh, Antarctica.
I'm thinking Eastern Europe.
Easter Island. Clearly the Philippines or
Yeah.
Egypt.
Madagascar.
Yeah. Number 4.
Squirrel.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Number 4. This is from MovieWeb.com. Number 4 might be one of my favorite. It's the dragon breath in the apartment building. That whole where they're going through the apartment building. It's got those massive shotgun things. But there's that scene going through the apartment building where it was filmed from overhead, and you have John Wick's kind of centered in frame, and the camera's going room to room in almost a Legend of Zelda perspective, and you get to see the fight scenes coming from other rooms into the room that you're watching, because you see kind of 2 or 3 rooms at a time. And again, I've never seen that in a movie before. It was such an interesting way to frame just a fight scene. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So that's chapter 4.
Next.
Oh, next. All right, there you go. Number 3.
Man, I have thoughts, but I'm gonna.
Oh no,
Wait,
no,
really
interject.
No,
Yeah.
please.
Well,
This
so
is
now.
Yeah, this is the part of the podcast where we talk.
Oh, I was just gonna say, this is so for me, coming from a film and TV background, just thinking about the fact that the director of this series of films is a guy who was a stunt coordinator and worked in that whole world, and actually got a chance to direct films like this, the artistry that goes into that, and the storytelling that goes into not just combat, but motion and expression of a character and what they're trying to bring to the scene.
Yeah.
Like there was I forget which of the 4 films it is, but there's one of these John Wick films where Keanu Reeves' character, as John Wick, says like 17 words or something like that. It was like some obscene small amount of words.
Yeah.
And in the entire feature film.
Yeah.
And it just kind of went to show that you did not need to tell an entire story about a singular character and their narrative through much more than just their motion.
Well, the other thing about it being directed by, a stunt man or a stunt coordinator is that they have such a higher respect for what the motion is in person, and they say, you know what? I get to see this. I get to live this motion in this way. It would be awesome if you could see it from above or from over here, or hey, we get to watch the journey of the motion through the space.
Yeah,
we're going to do it from this perspective instead of this perspective. And some of those fight scenes, the cinematography is just fucking beautiful and unique.
Yeah. Well, what's the go ahead. I have another thought. Go
okay,
ahead.
So because I wanted to bring this up. When you look at this and all the things that we're talking about right now, and this whole list, what does it really punctuate is the fact, and I know that it was brought up a lot after the last Mad Max with,
beautiful movie.
The whole point of that is that
Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, there was a lot of pressure put on to Hollywood to say, hey, the Oscars need to have a best stunt coordinator Oscar. Because when you look at this stuff, it is no different than choreography for a movie.
Dance. Yeah.
But it's not just the dancing itself; it's the coordination of the dancing to the cinematography.
Yeah.
And it's like sound design, and it's like everything else. It's a component of storytelling that really makes it visually engaging. And it's like you said, 17 words in a particular script from a character. And that character is so meaningful and insightful and engaging. The audience watches it and they feel for them and they have empathy. And like, how do you do that if they're not talking and you're doing that by everything else going on? And totally really important. I think that's kind of where we drill down in a movie like this and while we're having a conversation about these series, because they're not just a video game movie. They're not just this, hey, brutal fight scenes. Visually, these are stunning movies.
Absolutely.
Completely, and I would be surprised if anybody has seen this, but there's a movie that just came out, I want to say October, November, called Silent Night.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the trailer. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So the actor's name, he's fantastic. He's in For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus, and then the Suicide Squad movies. I feel like it's a Joel Edgerton, but that's not it. That might be it. Anyway, so that guy, so he plays a guy who he is a father who, the beginning frames of the film, his son, it's insinuated his son is killed from a drive-by shooting, and he just loses himself in alcohol, and then he decides that he's going to be a badass and gets really strong, and he's going to exact revenge, but he's been shot in the throat. So he loses his voice. So the entire film, except for maybe like 3 lines, there's no dialogue. Everything is conveyed through facial expressions and text messages. And it's an action film that's just him getting strong, and then he goes on a John Wick rampage and kills the people who killed his son accidentally, but it ultimately ends up being him taking down a crime ring.
Wow.
So of that same style.
Yeah.
2 words. John Woo.
Yeah.
That's it. John Woo directed this movie. And
were there birds that jumped out of nowhere?
I don't remember. There might have been. There might have been.
I don't know. Like I'm going to throw this out there as a tangent, as we do. Like John Woo, you look at some of his Hong Kong stuff before he really came to America.
Yeah.
Now, some of it was absolutely ridiculous. I know there was one, I think the movie was called Hard Boiled or something like that. But it's like the movie starts out with these police getting into a shootout. And Tyson and I, you know Tyson and I actually sit there and watched it several times when we went back and we tried to count the number of times the police officer shot his gun. He had 2 guns, 2 handguns, and he shot like 78 times, and then very blatantly
never reloaded.
Reloaded like shit.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
out.
All right,
Finally out. Click, click. Okay, now I've got another 78 bullets, and that's not the way guns work.
No.
But the choreography to the gunfight was something John was doing before it was cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. To that point, so I'm always going to throw back to these guys. So new rock stars on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have watched them at all.
No.
They are like the highly efficient nerds. But I was actually on the way over here just rewatching one of their breakdowns of the first John Wick film, and the fact that like the choreography for that film broke down the fact that like there was always like 15 rounds in a magazine, and the choreography for the film actually took that into consideration.
Yep. Oh yeah.
That it was even based on the cuts.
Yeah.
That they're like, no, 15 rounds or 15 rounds going out, time to reload, and they like took that into consideration in the editing, just made it all the more authentic, and that like to me that's
and
insanely accurate.
And reloading was obvious. Every time John Wick has this awesome unclips the magazine and does like this flick with the gun and just kind of flicks the mag out of the gun. But when he's out, he's again just like a video game, picking up one of the guys that he's killed, picking up their gun and continuing with that, or reaching around back to his belt pack for the reload.
John Wick's the one where they've got the clips with that like weighted roundy thing, so the clips pointed up. Did he do that? I forgot what movie it was, but like where the guy ran, like when he walked into the room, just tosses these clips out, and so they hit the ground. But again, it's like this semicircle weighted thing, and they're like,
I don't remember that.
So that later on he could roll and slam the gun down on the clip and start shooting it again.
Yeah, I don't think that was.
I feel like that was a John Wick thing.
I think that like a couple of instances of that might have happened, but I don't think that was like it was.
It might have been Matrix, and I'm just confused.
Yeah, I don't. That doesn't feel right. Number 3. The knife fight from Chapter 3 that happened in the antique store.
Yes.
One of my favorite parts about
this is my favorite.
This is your favorite? Okay.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
My favorite part about this scene. So in this scene, John Wick is running from assassins that are kind of chasing him through the streets. He goes into this antique.
This is from 2?
This is from 3.
Okay.
And he gets into this antique store, and he gets like an antique gun, and he finds like an antique bullet, and he has a limited shootout with these bad guys as they come in, and it turns into a fist fight, and they fist fight their way down to this, down one of the aisles of this antique store, and then there's a moment where the two of them, like they kind of stop, they pause, they look at each other, they have their hands up in the air like they're mid-fight, and then the two of them simultaneously look over their shoulders and realize that they're standing in these these cabinets of knives, and they just instantly and then elbow out the glass and start grabbing knives out of these display cases, and it becomes this epic knife fight in this antique store, and that was really good. That was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed. Yeah, that was trying to contextualize these films with other films and just social, especially in the U.S., like just like events. I feel like at the time that the movie was about to come out, there was a height of like a lot of school shootings, things like that. So I feel like a thing that was more grounded, like a knife fight, sword fight, that sort of thing, was a little more realistic, a little more not as disastrous, I want to say.
Less realistic.
I don't know, because in UK there was like all those stabbings too. It was like a big
that's also true. But
That's
I mean,
fair.
a lot of that bled into
giggity.
Oh God, what was it? I think it's kind of started in Chapter 3, where we got to see a lot more Japanese culture and traditional Japanese weapons being used.
Yeah. Okay.
Katanas and nunchucks and all those things, and that gets into number 2. Number 2 on the top 12 list of John Wick battles was Battle at the Osaka Continental from Chapter 4.
That was a great movie because that was one of those ones where there's the wave after wave of those kind of like ninja stormtrooper-y kind of guys.
Oh yeah, and then you have your Rogue One blind assassin guy that shows up and just does his I'm blind but I'm also a badass.
Donnie something.
Could be. Sounds right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he kind of comes in as the ultimate badass for that part of the series.
As one does.
Number one on the all-time I don't know if this is, again, my favorite was the cinematography from the fight in the apartment.
Donnie Yen.
Yeah, Donnie Yen. The number one on this list is Stairway Tumble from Chapter 4.
Yes.
Where he has to fight his way up. And again, all of these fight scenes have such a simple premise.
Yeah.
You're chasing a guy through a nightclub, or you're running through this tunnel, or you're in an antique store. This one is you're at the bottom of the stairs, and you have to get to the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
There's the premise for the fight. And you get, again...
Well, it's a little bit more complex than
your
that.
overhead henchmen just come jumping out of the woodwork.
And all he has is a bulletproof suit coat.
Yeah, bulletproof suit coat.
Tactical,
tactical evening wear.
Totally
Yes.
works.
You know the tailor from that movie was actually like the costume designer for the movie?
Really?
Like when he's getting the suit made, that tailor guy, like that was the costume designer for the movie.
From the
amazing.
4 or from all of them?
I think for all of them. I think we see the tailor in Chapter 2. It's either, or is it Chapter 1? He's like getting a suit made. I think it's Chapter 1.
I think it's in Chapter 1 that is very blatant, but it happens in kind of all of them. But that first one, because he's coming out of retirement, he goes to buy his gun. Well, first step, buy the gun. Second step, go get your tailor.
That's called a montage.
Yeah. Gonna do
Yeah.
a montage.
The doctor that's like, you gotta shoot me in the...
Yeah, shoot
in
me
the
where? Shoot me right
abdomen,
here.
so-
Oh, they're not going to believe it. Shoot me here too.
Yeah.
That's messed up. That's a good segue too, though, because the list that I found is the top 30 quotes.
Oh,
And we'll just kind of rattle through these a little bit faster.
Let's
'cause
say
there's 30
Jesus.
of them.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Okay,
Buckle up.
but they're iconic. Number 30, you want to hold up in this place until they come and kill you? That's not a plan. That's an unscheduled funeral.
Nice.
Winston, yeah.
Yeah, Winston, yeah.
You could walk out of here right now, leaving your family at grave risk, or you can spare their lives and simply find the nearest balcony and jump.
But that photo you just showed there was Mel Gibson, so that's the Continental. And the first photo was
That's-
also from the Continental.
Yeah. That's from?
Yeah, the
yeah.
spin-off Peacock TV show.
There you go.
That's not even not even our movies.
Well, this one...
We haven't gotten there yet.
This one is. He stole John Wick's car, sir, and killed his dog. And what they don't show here is the response. Oh.
And he just hangs up the phone.
Yeah.
Again, that's that the weight that John Wick carries in that universe. He's like
Yeah.
the Harry Potter of that universe.
And-
or the Voldemort.
And right into the next one. Well, John wasn't exactly the boogeyman. He was the one you sent to kill the fucking boogeyman. Which is kind of a follow-up to that when he's talking to his son.
Yeah.
Next one, do I look civilized to you? That's John Wick in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
This one, out of context, I get it. Nah, dumb.
Really, see, top 30 quotes. Really good quotes. You should be able to just say them out of context.
Yeah, right. No, totally agree. I once saw him kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil. With a fucking pencil.
The fact, so the him killing people with a pencil, that is referenced several times, and it isn't until, is it Chapter 3?
Did he actually
or
kill some?
4? And he ends up killing 2 people in a subway station with a pencil, and you're like, yes, he's doing it.
I think that's
did the
number
thing.
2.
Is it number 2?
Yeah, because that's when they just unleash the assassins, and he's trying to get back to the Continental.
Yes.
And here's what's funny, because I saved this little tab right here. So I don't know if you recognize this guy. This guy is one of the two people in the subway that try and kill him in the subway.
Okay.
His name is Chris Parker. I used to load pyro with him 20 plus years ago at Islands of Adventure right after they
6
opened.
degrees of Greg in
Yeah.
the freaking John
Right
Wick
there.
universe.
And the funny story is he was doing stunt work at the time and then was just like loading pyro for like a day gig or whatever.
Yeah.
But his whole thing was he was trying to get, and this will circle back to some of your interest, he was trying to get on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s pit crew.
Really?
And actually got to meet him and hang out with him several times. Never made it onto the pit crew from what I remember. But yeah, cool, really cool dude.
Wow.
We used to have to go out on the Laguna Islands Adventure, load pyro, and then there's that little cove that is now back where Potter is, where that
yeah.
that crossover bridge.
Velocicoaster kind of goes over it.
Yeah. So we would park the pontoon boat back there, watch the pyro, and then we'd have to go pull all the product. But like,
Wow.
God, this was back in probably 2001, 2002, somewhere in there. Just summer, because they'd like everybody would have to rotate through doing pyro. But anyway, that's one of the guys that was in the subway fight scene from 2.
Hold on. Everyone would have to rotate through doing pyro.
During the summer, there wasn't a lot of like for special events.
So it's like, hey, you have no experience. You should handle the explosives.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
They would put you through training and everything else. And then like every week you'd have 2 or 3 shifts out on the lagoon loading pyro.
You can sell Dippin' Dots next week. This week you're going to be handling fireworks. Wow.
Hey, we had standards. We were stagehands. We don't sell Dippin' Dots. It's loading pyro or
untangling beads with Steve Miller.
that was a whole different story. That was a 90s story. That actually happened. I don't know if you listened to that. But.
And
like untangling beads
and like that.
No, it's like when we were doing main stage, I was an audio guy and eventually a stage lead. And it like after we did the load in and the sound check, we'd hang out under the stage. Mm-hmm. Well, Steve Miller of the Steve Miller Band. Hey, can I sit with you guys down here until they come get me? Pull up a milk crate. And so we're under the stage sitting on milk crates, separating beads into these bins for the MCs to throw out.
Uh-huh.
And he's just talking to us about college football or some shit and watching what we do. And then he just reaches into the box and pulls it and start copying what we're doing and helping. And this guy, Frank, who was supposed to deliver the cases of beads for the next day, comes by.
Frank.
And he starts talking to us. He's this, from New York. He's in New York. Yeah. Hey, how was sound check? Sound check was fine. Yeah. Steve Miller, he's still ain't good. I'm like, hey, Frank, that's Steve Miller. And Steve was like, "Hey, how you doing, Frank? Frank, is it? Yeah, nice to meet you." It's like, "Yeah, nice. I gotta go deliver some other beats. I have a good night. Take off." And it was just like funny as shit, just sitting there. Anyway, so that really happened. That really happened. So yes, random
gosh.
Greg met somebody's stories. I'm so glad you've at least been in a couple, so you can back me up.
I've heard a lot of them.
You've met a couple, though, haven't you?
Yeah. There's a handful of Greg stories that I get to participate in now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you done with your quotes?
Yeah. Well, no.
We have 27 more to go.
From John Wick 1, evening Jimmy noise complaint after the thing at the house.
Oh no, that was when they were. Oh yeah, no, that was at the house because he did the same. He kind of had the same line when they had the shootout in the hotel. And he and the guy from the hotel in the Continental where you're not supposed to be working, and the guy he had the same comment with the guy in the neighboring room comes out in a bathrobe. He's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. 21 is what we mentioned earlier. The knife is in your aorta. You pull it out, you will bleed, and you will die. Consider this a professional courtesy.
This is the last time we see Common.
Yeah. Victor's dead. Everything's got a price. You stabbed the devil in the back and forced him back into the life he had just left. That was from 2, I think. Mm-hmm. As I live and breathe, John Wick, the man, the myth, the legend, you're not very good at retiring.
Mm-hmm.
That was what's his face?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne.
Mhm.
Who was great in this movie.
Yeah.
I might add. Or this. Nay. He was great in this franchise.
The Bower King.
Yeah, he kind of still play. You know, the fact that he has an army of undercover homeless assassons.
Yeah.
Or
Jason Mantzoukas. Jason Mantzoukas is fantastic for that army.
Yeah, I don't know. I was seeing Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne together again was kind of like, oh, but yeah.
So number 16 from John Wick is telling them, tell them all, whoever comes, whoever it is, I'll kill them. I'll kill all of them. Pretty powerful thing there. $14 million bounty on his head, and everyone interested party in the city wants a piece of him. I'd say their odds are about even. It's great. Not if you can't spend it. Yeah, some of these they really need more. How good to see you again so soon, Mr. Wick.
Lance Reddick.
Yeah. It was just a puppy. Yeah. People keep asking me if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. We started the episode with that. Guns, lots of guns. I'm going to try and pronounce that. Just the only way John Wick will ever have freedom and peace is in death. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. A good death only comes after a good life. I'm just going to skip through some of these because those who cling to death live. Those who have something to live for, those who have something to die for, and those who have something to kill for. These are dumb. I shouldn't have done this.
No, this is a bad list.
Wait, what website is this off of?
Screen Rant.
Dumbelist.
Oh, don't listen to Screen Rant.
Clickbait.com.
No, don't listen to Screen Rant.
So okay, so here's one for you. Both of you have seen Chapter 4. And if we're ever going to play the spoiler alert, it's going to be now.
Time's passed.
Spoiler alert, Chapter 4. How did you think it ended? The series.
I've
Chapter
read
4,
about this.
What do you mean you've read about this?
I've read about it. There's been a lot of articles trying to explain the end of 4.
Does it need explanation?
Well, here's the thing. The explanation is John Wick dead? Like, is he really dead?
Ooh. I think you could take it either way. I think if somebody wrote a really compelling script, you could write John Wick 5 and he not be dead. I think you'd absolutely do that. You could not.
Yeah, they never took his pulse and buried him.
Yeah, you could not. You just saw the tombstone at the end and blah blah blah. Yeah. I think the way in which he had his final showdown, I thought was freaking perfect. I think the way they had the way the entire duel sequence went down, I thought was awesome.
Agreed.
And ultimately, I walked away from the ending of 4 like they put the perfect bow on the John Wick package.
Agreed.
That you could ever have done. They did such a good job wrapping everything up and just here you go, we're done, boom, loved it.
So, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
From Keanu Reeves and the director, who I don't have his name in front of me. John Wick is dead.
Okay. That's fine.
They have no intention to make a 5.
They don't because no one has backed up that particular money truck yet, but
yeah,
they could.
At the same time, you're saying backing up a money truck to Keanu Reeves is like trying to back up a steak truck to a vegan.
Yeah,
he just doesn't care about money.
He doesn't care. No, he's very. He's just one of those just awesome guys. Like,
yeah. So
you never see anything bad about him in all the Hollywood shit. Like it's always like, oh yeah, Keanu Reeves.
He's the guy
he met some orphans and bought them all clothes. It's like every time you hear anything about Keanu Reeves, it's him doing something amazingly human.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, he's on a subway. Like there's video of him on the subway trying to be kind of incognito, sitting there on the subway, and a woman comes in and he goes, hey, please sit down and take the seat. And he stands up and he just stands up. Like there's all those little things like that. Like after The Matrix, he apparently bought the entire stunt team matching motorcycles, or I don't know if they're matching, but he bought everybody motorcycles, and
Yeah,
he's given up money. He's given up money for payday on Matrix to allow for the effects team to actually get paid, and so he's just constantly like, I don't think he gives a shit about worldly possessions. I think he's just like likes his motorcycle, likes his simple life.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. But
I would share a run with that dude.
oh, sure, run with him all day long.
Yeah,
but no, I think it's again writing. You can write anything you want to write, and I think it's just open enough.
Sure.
That you could do it. Oh, no. It was...
And them saying an interview off camera outside of the movie doesn't mean that it's been said in the movie.
No. I mean, look what Daniel Craig about doing another James Bond movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was... You said you'd never do it. It's like, yeah, I just finished the last one, and then I didn't feel like doing another one because I just finished it. But, yeah, I got to do that.
Are they talking about him doing another one? Because
no.
He's dead.
No, this was in between... what was it? His second to last one and his last one. Like when he was done with his second to last one, he said, "Yeah, he was interviewed on Conan or Letterman or something." And they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna do the next one?" He's like, "I never want to do another one of these ever." And then he went back on it and did a movie, and they're like, "Well, what the hell are you talking about?" He's like, I was just tired. I just finished it. Like I didn't. Yeah. It's like going to a grocery store when you just ate dinner. Like I don't know what to buy. I'm not hungry.
Yeah. His last one was something where he got hit by a bomb, like a pretty big bomb.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he's absolutely not alive.
Dead.
Yeah.
Unless he hit an escape hatch and fell in some sort of a subterranean.
But again, it's a movie, and you can write whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how stories work, and writing.
Yeah,
the world is relative.
Doing a quick check to see if there's any major. There's an article there, but it sounds like initially it's like, we don't know what's happening right now, and we're not really focusing on it.
The Bond series is happening. Just
I don't think it'll ever quit. But here's non sequitur, and I know we're getting kind of late in the episode, but. Here's my thing about it. And you and I we've literally had this episode, a whole episode dedicated to this.
We have.
Prior to Skyfall, where it's like they took James Bond to the Bond estate where all the drama from his youth happened and blah blah blah. Prior to that, my personal thought on it was that James Bond operated under the Dread Pirate Roberts mentality, and that is. James Bond, because James Bond is of reasonable age for 70 fucking years, that at some point it's like, no, they just the 00 status of being 007 inherently is given the name of James Bond, so that the mystique of James Bond just goes on forever. But then they do this episode that completely they do not an episode, but they do a movie that completely says no, it's actually Bond and this is his name and he's from there, and he blows that completely out of the water, and that bothered me because I think the idea of doing the Dread Pirate Roberts mentality makes it
that's something
immortal.
But that's something that you as a fan just did.
Hey, if the Star Wars fucking fans can be pissed off about Rey, I can be pissed off about Skyfall. Fuck you.
I feel like it can be shifted though.
Yeah, but you fall victim to some of those fan traps. Like I remember.
I'm not a victim.
Oh, you fall victim.
I'm not a victim.
You fall victim to fan traps.
Fuck you. You're a victim.
My personal favorite is when Solo came out. No, before Solo came out, and they had all the concept art for the Millennium Falcon, and you're like, that. Why did the two little forks at the front of the ship? You're like, why'd they fill that in? Like that's not how that ship's supposed to look, and blah blah blah. And I can't believe they messed that up. And you had this deep. No, that's a cargo freighter. That's how this stuff works. And blah 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 blah. I'm like, wait till the movie comes out.
I was really pissed.
I'm sure
because to me the Falcon.
Yeah.
It's not a ship, it's a character.
It's a character in the movie.
And, 100%.
And the movie absolutely had the ship as a character. They made the ship a character. They explained
Quite
the
literally.
origin story of the ship being a character. And 2, they explained the fucking thing that he hated. You know, it was like, why is that thing there? It shouldn't be there. And like, oh no, yeah. Lando had that custom made, and he brags about having it custom made for the thing. And you're like, oh yeah, fuck, they totally explained that in the movie. I have to take back all that rage that I just threw out there. Prior.
And I bottled it up and I poured it out at you, Trevor.
It sounds like something Greg would do.
Never. Anyway, we're long in the fucking tooth. We're coming up on an hour. Do we want to talk about anything? Do we have a? Okay.
Well, it was a dedicated John Wick episode, so I feel like we checked that box.
Yeah.
I've
Hold on. I got a list. This one more list. This is a list of
some ideas.
This list is the top 782 firearms that John Wick fired during the series. The first one is a Beretta something. I don't know.
I have the top 36 sounds you can make with your nose plugged. Number 36.
Anyway, you had some ideas. Sorry.
Well, they weren't original ideas.
Are there any original ideas?
No.
This is an idea remix.
No,
Yeah.
well, not that. But the
I'm gonna top a donut with broccoli. That's original.
It's like
It's also terrible.
It's like somebody else's idea, but with a
with a little bass beat to it.
Yeah.
No, so this is going back to these films being more like a Western.
John Wick now.
John Wick. Yeah. That being more like a Western film. It's the cliche of the story starts and the characters doing their thing. They're having a life of being passive, and some sort of a small incident happens to where they're called back to action, and suddenly it's a film about them being, just kind of going back to their normal badass self. So around the time that John Wick happened, all the way up until John Wick 4, also a film Nobody came out with Bob Odenkirk.
A great movie.
Which Bob Odenkirk is a guy who came from SCTV. He is a Canadian comedic actor, improv actor.
He was like a writer from Saturday Night
Yeah,
Live.
on Saturday Night Live.
okay.
Like, this is a guy who's a comedic guy and somehow
Turns himself into an action star.
becomes an action star. And the entire movie, with Christopher Lloyd playing his dad, works.
Amazing. So
works.
amazing.
And the entire film is a Western.
Yeah.
He's literally in one scene pulling out gold bars. And I as soon as you guys talked about doing a like John Wick episode, I was like, you cannot talk about John Wick without talking about Nobody as a film and how there can be a sequel to that, and Bob Odenkirk as a hero, and Christopher Lloyd as his father, and just that entire universe, because it can be an entire thing.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
We should tie into a fan theory that because Christopher Lloyd's in it, it's tied to Back to the Future. There was a recent fan theory, and then we've got to wrap up. It's late and everything else, but I saw a fan theory about you and your fucking humming over there is blacking my brain out.
Sorry.
What's his name from Boardwalk Empire?
Steve Buscemi?
Steve Buscemi. Okay, so there's this theory that Steve Buscemi's character, Mr. Pink from Reservoir Dogs.
Why do we got to be pink?
Yeah. So the whole thing is like he runs off at the end of the movie. They don't show him getting killed. He runs off, and then it's like he runs off, and then he's in this other movie. Oh, he's in The Big Lebowski. Or no, he was
Donnie.
Before that he was like in Con Air, and because
the Psycho.
Yeah. So and then ultimately he ends up. It's the same guy. He's the guy he plays Donnie in The Big Lebowski. If you haven't really ever noticed in that movie, he's always wearing a bowling shirt, and every bowling shirt has a different name on it.
I have not.
Yeah, it's like Alan. It's never Donnie. It's just like Alan, Chuck, whatever. And the idea that he's the serial killer and he's just killing other bowlers and then wearing their shirt. And then eventually he does get killed and get cremated. But there's this theory that like all of those characters are the same fucking person from like 6 movies. I'll have to find the thing and send it to you. But
That's freaking
there
hilarious.
is this crazy thing. But yeah, little things that you start to go through and like, okay, well, the timeline works because if he's that and then he's this and then he's that character.
Shut the
That
fuck up.
requires
Dummy.
a rewatch.
Shut the fuck up, dummy.
Yeah. Well, that's like you might not ever remember the movie Cloak and Dagger with what's it, Dabney? He ends it like
Yeah.
but like the Cloak and Dagger. You know the movie, like the kid
I know,
plays
I know
the video
the
game
title.
and there's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the plans to some secret jet in it, whatever.
Mhm.
Like that kid grows up to be Tyler Durden from Fight Club with all the imaginary friends and everything. Like there is a theory that actually, when you look at it, kind of really makes sense that he grows up to be Tyler Durden. But anyway, all that said, you don't have anything to plug? I think we talked about this.
Nothing to plug. No.
Okay, cool. Well, if you need anything, you can find him at Trevor at things and stuff.
Find him at TEA Mixers, and he's usually the one with the camera.
Yeah.
You do a lot of video stuff for the TEA.
Lately, yeah. So that's a whole long story, but basically, yeah. When it comes to TEA events, yeah, I'm gonna be the guy with the iPhone and the gimbal or a camera, and that's me.
Nice. Yeah, are you going to the Inspire conference?
I don't think I'm going to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because it's $1 bajillion?
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's really expensive.
It's not a cheap affair.
Yeah.
You know what we forgot to do today?
What did we forget to do today?
We were going to do a thing and give away tickets.
We need to do that today because the thing is on February 9th.
Yeah.
We should just announce, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to do a contest? Do you want to do just a write-in thing? People reach out.
Okay, because we have like 11 tickets total, right?
11 total tickets.
So we're trying to get a small group of us to get the VIP table, which we also have to take care of. We'll do that tomorrow or this weekend.
That's a different thing. We can select some quantity of tickets to give away to the listeners.
Okay. So how's this?
Okay.
Write into us. You can email us at show@rumandnerdy.com. That's rumandnerdy.com. Show@rumandnerdy.com. You need to send us an email if you want to go. What this is, they are tickets to a Queen tribute band at House of Blues on February 9th.
It's called Absolute Queen, the ultimate Queen tribute band.
Yeah. So if you want to go, you have to write us, again, at show@rumandnerdy. Write us and tell us your favorite scene from John Wick.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. And why?
And why.
The concert is Friday, February 9th, 2024. Doors open at 7 p.m.
Yeah. And that's doors open. So the show's like half an hour, 45 minutes later. So
Yeah, we'll arrange some kind of meeting.
I'm coming straight from an airport.
Yeah, this is House of Blues at Disney Springs. So I will have the tickets. We'll meet up at Disney Springs somewhere.
Yeah. So reach out to us and you can join us because there's 11 tickets, right? So we got a few.
We got 11.
So yeah, write us, tell us your favorite scene in John Wick and why. And if you are selected, we'll contact you. You can also submit those through our website, rumandnerdy.com. There is a portal there where you can contact us and just fill out all the information there. If you don't remember, show at Rumandnerdy, and then just go to rumandnerdy.com.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Boom.
Other than that,
free tickets. We're giving away free tickets to a concert.
yeah, and you get an opportunity to hang out with us.
Yeah.
Which is kind of stupid, but whatever.
And see a great Queen cover band.
Yeah. And by great, we're assuming so. They were so good that they gave us 11 tickets.
They were so good that the waitress gave them to us because she didn't feel like handing them out to other people.
Yeah. And we were clearly the coolest people there.
Yeah, she's like, how many do you want? I'm like, oh, well, there's 2 of us, and then maybe these people. She's like, well, I got, fuck it, here, take the stack.
Yeah.
And done.
Yeah. Everybody else had tabbed out and left early. We're like,
I'm sorry, everybody else in VIP, but these are mine now.
yeah. We were really sticking. It's because we stuck around for the encore for the Van Halen cover band, but that didn't happen.
The encore for the Van Halen cover
And this
band
all
was
sounds
the
like
Def Leppard.
hyperbole.
Well, it was really bad. It was billed as a Def Leppard cover band and a Van Halen cover band Turns out,
Same
band. They
Just different guitars.
They went and did a costume change and came back out. We're like,
Yeah.
I think that's the same
Yeah,
guy.
singer, drummer, and bassist with the same. They just changed guitars.
I may have had a few rum and cokes, but I think that's the same band.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
Well played, Van Halen cover band.
Trevor, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. We've been talking about this for a while, and so here you are.
I can't believe we guilted you into it. Late on a Thursday night after a TEA mixer.
What else the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for doing this. Dave, we got a demo. Dave, thanks again for the new opening. We love it.
Yeah, demodavepro.com.
Yep, and hopefully we'll see him soon for it because he'll be at Inspire.
Well, he'll be at Inspire.
I can't fucking wait. We got to do an episode with him from
Inspire. Oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
Of course, every time that we make an announcement that Dave and us are going to be in the same state together,
then he like falls off a wall or
something.
some shit.
Something happens and it never comes to fruition.
Yeah.
So we may have just jinxed Dave from making it to Inspire by saying we're going to record with Dave.
Fix it in post. Anyway, thank you.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
I see your red door. I want it painted black. No colors anymore. I want them to turn black. I see the girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. I see a line of colors and they're unpainted black, with flowers and my love both never to come back. I see people turn their heads and quickly look away, like a newborn baby. It just happens every day. I look inside myself and see my heart is black. I see my red door, I must have it painted black. Maybe then I'll fade away and not have to face the facts. It's not easy facing up when your whole world is black.
The sun is set. The stars shine in the sky. The night air is tinged with anticipation. And it is time to meet the Continental.
Oh, wow. To what serendipitous opportunity do I owe the pleasure of having such a wonderful woman on my doorstep? Oh, you got my flyer. I made them myself at Kinko's.